So I have my little remote here to start filming, and I was like, why is this not turning on? And then I flipped it over and I was like, oh, on switch. Hi everyone, my name is Hannah. I go by Microbiologist Makes here on YouTube as well as over on Instagram, and this is my Flosstube channel where I talk about sort of all my creative endeavors involving yarn and thread. So I cross stitch, I knit and crochet, so I like to share that over here on this channel, and this is Flosstube number 4. So thank you for joining me. If you're new, welcome, and if you're returning, thank you so much, and I'm glad you're all here spending time with me today. Today is April 29th, I believe. It's a Saturday, and I'm filming my wrap-up of everything I got up to in April, which doesn't feel like a lot, so I'm sure this won't be very long. I kind of have a hard time filling the space. Yeah, but gotta have some short ones to break up the longer episodes, which I do love to watch feature length Flosstube films as well, so can't complain there. Yeah, I have a little bit of everything to share today except thrifting. I usually share different finds that I came across at the end of the video, but I didn't get to any antique stores this month, and my wallet is thanking me, but yeah, that is sad. I don't have that content to share today. Hopefully next month. But I have a little bit of everything else, and yeah, hopefully this channel will go, or this episode will go up at the tail end of this weekend, although YouTube has been taking a while to process my videos, so yeah, that's always fun to watch, the little spinning circle of death as it's waiting to upload and going through checks and everything, and I never know how long it's going to take, but yeah, part of the process. Yeah, so let's jump in. I have some previous finishes, well, one previous finish, not plural. This is something I stitched in 2018-2019 time frame. It was like probably one of my first pieces that I did on linen, and I just recently framed it like within the last year, which is kind of shameful, but this is the Inn at Fox River Mill by Little House Needleworks. Yeah, that's right. I used all the called for threads and the call for linen too, which I believe is straw. I want to say it's 32 count. Yeah. And I framed this in just like an old chipped up frame I got at Goodwill that fit like really well. Surprisingly, it's kind of a weird size. And yeah, I did my little dust cover on the back. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. And I found out that I think my favorite floss color is Mulberry by Gentle Arts Sampler Threads. So yeah, it's I don't have it like out right now. It seems more like a fall piece, but yeah, I envision someday having like shelving and then sort of having like a gallery of like a collage, different, I don't know, different layers of framed pieces sitting on those shelves. But yeah, here it is one last time. And the fox does have little French knots for its eyes, but they're not coming across, I don't think. Yeah. And I did have a finish over this past month. I finished Strawberry Faire, which I posted about it on Instagram as well. But I kind of participated in the sale, not really. I think my only update was the finished product. But I did finish it as a pillow, the help of my mom. And this is on 40 count Regency by Picture This Plus. I used some of the called for colors. So there's a Classic Colorworks Weeks Dye Works that I did use for the strawberry, and then everything else like that brown I did not use. I think I just pulled DMCs that were close. I had a color in cotton for the green. yeah, and I had some Dames of the Needle, I think it's watermelon vine. It was in my haul from last month. Mini rickrack, and I went to my local quilt shop and got some fat quarters. So I have a green print on the front and then a pink on the back. I thought with the rickrack that it didn't need a trim around the outside. And I am pretty proud of my seaming there, or the invisible ladder stitch that I did. So yeah, that's cute. And I'm happy to have that for summer. Alright, so then new starts. I did have 2. Only one was planned. The other was, yeah, I just saw it and jumped in. But the first is Settling In, which I started for Easter. Well, it was for my birthday, but I started it on Easter. And I got it kitted up by my parents for my birthday so I'm using 25 count even weave, and I got all the DMCs from them. Which is awesome, and I started that on Easter morning, and I am almost at a page finish actually. So I started in the upper left hand corner. It's like a picture frame sitting on a shelf or the mantle above the fireplace. So that's starting to come across. I'd like to get a page finish by the end of this weekend. I'm just under 1,000 stitches I need to have done, so I don't know if I'll get there. I think I'll be really close. But yeah, I'm doing this 1 thread over 1 linen thread, or even weave thread, 1 over 1 full cross. So, and I think so I'm using Stitch Pal, which uses some sort of algorithm to predict when you will finish based on the number of stitches you're averaging, and right now it says I will finish in July of 2026. So thanks for that. But yeah, I mean it's reasonable. I'd like to keep up with it. I kind of get started on a full coverage and then I get discouraged, and because it takes longer than everything else, but it is really rewarding to see it all come together. So that was my first new start, and then my second was, so I jumped on the Greenhouse of Oddities South by Lola cross stitch. She had been posting, teasers for a while, and I was like, oh, greenhouse, that's right up my alley. I just wasn't sure that I wanted to start a new cell, and I was like, I'll wait till the frame comes out. It came out. I was like, all right, I have to do it. I actually had most of the DMCs, which I was surprised. There's like, I think 30 DMCs, and I had a piece of fabric that would work. And so I just joined. I think, yeah, I started this on Earth Day actually, so it was very fitting. And I love seeing everyone's progress on this. I know quite a few people that are doing it. So yeah, I'll have put in a picture here, I'm sure, but I think I'm about 25% done. So I'm starting on like the main dome here, and I just have the black, and now I'm starting to go in with the gray before I move my key snap and do the lower tiers of the greenhouse. So the crows aren't completely done. There's another color that fills them in, gives them some shading. But other than that, most of this centerpiece is done. And I believe the first planting is what they're called, or segment of the sow, the first stitch part of the inside of the greenhouse comes out at the end of May. So there's like 6,000 stitches around there in this frame, and like May 26th or something is when the first release comes out. So I think that's doable. I think I can get the rest of this done by the end of May. So yeah, looking forward to that. I'm stitching this on 36 count anthracite by XG Designs, and I was going to do just 1 thread over 2, which I like doing on 36, but I was worried that you would see through with the black. I have trouble with coverage with black sometimes, so I just opted for 2, and I'm stitching it in a Q snap, as you can see, and so my stitches that's helping my stitches to lay pretty nicely. So yeah, I don't always, I would prefer to stitch with one thread, but I think I like the effect of two here. Just having the vibrancy of the color and no patchiness, but. All right, and I need to figure out a different way to transition other than just saying all right every single time. But okay, so we have whips now. Fruits of Plenty is my first one, which will probably be, you'll be seeing every month until the end of time, it feels like, until I finish it anyway, which I hope to do this year. I hit the 50% mark this month. So I'm just over 50%, like 51% or somewhere around there, which is really exciting. Now I have the dilemma of how I want to stitch it next. Like, do I want to start, what page do I want to move on to? And I'm stitching this on a 40 count Extra Designs Marbled Bunny with DMC 3773 and 8, DMC 8 is the brown. I'm really happy with how it's turning out. I can get a lot of stitches in really fast on this one for whatever reason. Like doing the same amount of stitches on a full coverage would take me probably twice as long. And so I'm working on, I'm still not quite done with that little medallion thing. I have to fill in some more of the pinker. It's just the pinker color that I have to fill in. I did all the outlining in the brown. So yeah, just have to fill that in and I get to work on the lower half finally. So yeah, I'd like to have this, I say it every time, but I'd like to have it done by the end of this year at the very least. I was thinking early fall would be nice, just so then I can work on more seasonal things towards the end of the year instead of working on this as a focus piece, but we'll see, I guess. And then I sort of skipped around a little bit for my next one. So I went to back to a Sal that I had started in 2021, I think. And this is a Wiehenburg, a Stickadine von der Wiehenburg Designs. I butchered that, I know. She did a Winter Quaker mystery Sal, and I was staying caught up, and then I got behind, and now I have like 2.5 parts left. But the snowflakes are no joke, and I don't always enjoy stitching them at this point. I'm just kind of done. It's really pretty, and it's probably not going to come across very well because it's very wrinkly and I forgot to iron. So it was my intention to iron this, but I was remiss in doing that. So it's kind of hard to show, but yeah, just a lot of snowflakes and trees. There's some woodland animals that go in there, but I've only put in the fox. I was going to rechart some of them because I wasn't a fan of all of them. But I added two more snowflake borders, or 2 more snowflake motifs. Let's see. I did this one towards the bottom, and I've started to work more on this one. So I have 2.5 pages, let's see, right here, and then 1, 2. I'm just never in the mood to stitch on it, and I kind of sort of have to force myself to, because I do want it done. And I'm stitching this on a 40 count. Ooh, I'll have to put in the name. It's not a hand-dyed piece. Yeah, I'll have that link, details in the description box. The only other thing left to do after I add the animals in would be you write the word winter in the middle here in Smyrna crosses. And I just haven't done that yet because I didn't want them to get smushed by the Q-snap. So yeah, she's a big one. And my last cross stitch whip then is Beatrix Potter Quaker. which is a sale that was initiated and is hosted by Julia of Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World. And I'm stitching this on a 46 count color and cotton, antique or heirloom lace. Yes, that's it. And I'm stitching this with Gentle Arts burlap. And I added one full motif here, and I worked on this one. That flower was just taking me a while for some reason. Yeah, I love that rusty goldy color, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm at, I think, 15%. I put this into the Markup RXP app, which is sort of an alternative to Pattern Keeper for Android, and so that's how I know how far I am. But yeah, I think I got I won't say how many stitches I got in. At least 500, I think. So yeah, I know a lot of people are stitching that, and it's really fun to work on. I love a Quaker, so. And next up we have, well, okay, let me see how I'm going to do this. I guess I'll go into a haul just so everything's cross-stitch related. And then if you want to stick around towards the end, I'll talk more about my crochet, knitting, and that sort of thing. So haul is a little bit of, some birthday presents and then some things I bought myself. I did buy this floss winder from R&R Woodworks, KY, I believe. And I got the 12-inch. I think the color was Rainbow Poplar. It's really pretty. And I got a little bit of a gloss to it. And yeah, it's been really fun to wind thread floss with this. I did get, I'll talk about it next, but I got some Adam Hart cross stitch thread drops. So I'm switching over from Bobbins to those, and yeah, it's a fun process. It's much more fun than winding thread around bobbins for me anyway. I like it's kind of therapeutic. So yeah, this is a nice little tool. Certainly not necessary to wind threads, but it is fun to have anyway. So, and then yeah, these are just my so Adam Hart thread bobbins. I got the frosted clear acrylic ones. I've heard so many people talk about these, mainly Bridget, Museum Stitcher, and Megan, the Seattle Stitcher. I know they really like these, so I picked some up. Well, actually, it was a birthday present, so I didn't pay for them, but thanks, Mom. And yeah, so I got these, and I'm using them to kit up. I put all of the 60-some threads for the settling in piece. I put those all on thread drops, and it's been really nice. I can just, stick your needle in, pull out a single thread, and it's just so much faster. So yeah, that's been working really well. I also got some fabric from my mom, or my parents. Dad is included in this. I got 2 pieces of linen. So Newcastle linen in the color Mayflower by Fox and Rabbit. Sorry. I guess I should probably take it out of the plastic. It's a really pretty neutral. I'm excited to have it. I think it'll be really great for samplers, which I don't do too many of, but I mean, I have a bunch kitted, or plans to kit. And then this one is a flannel flower by Fox and Rabbit, also a 40 count. This is so pretty. I love this color. And the modeling, it's beautiful. And it looks like she got these from Colorado Cross Stitcher. Great, and then somewhere in my pile here, I also have my, oh yeah, here it is. Super organized. My color and cotton threads. So I'm in the Thread of the Month club, the primitive neutrals. I get 5 skeins. And yeah, these are this month's colors. I won't read them off here, but there's some really pretty reds, blues, green, some off-white gray colors. So yeah, always love getting those, and they're really nice quality, and yeah, love stitching with them. All right, and let's go over some plans. Yeah, okay. I think I'm gonna implement a new rotation, or plans for a new rotation, just because I've been stitching maybe a couple hundred stitches on like 1 or 2 things a day, and I don't like jumping around. So I think I want to focus on 1 piece a week monogamously for this next month. So I'll have, in theory, 4 projects by the end of the month to share. And I think like I'll switch those out month to month, except for like focus projects. So one of the focus projects is going to be settling in. That'll be 1 week, but it'll be like a full coverage in the future. So if I ever want to move on from that, I'll just swap it out for a different full coverage. And the next one, Fruits of Plenty, which I want to finish, like I've said over and over, and yeah, I'd like to stitch on that for a solid week till it's done, then something else can go in its place. And the 3rd week, I'm thinking Sal's, and this time it would be Greenhouse of Oddities until that's caught up, and then maybe I could swap in the Winter Quaker until it's done. I don't have any more Sal's, but well, I guess Beatrix Potter is a Sal, it's just not released in parts. And then the 4th week would sort of be up in the air. I could do, I'm thinking right now, I want to go back to Summer Reflection by Modern Folk Embroidery, which I'll put in a picture for my whip parade of where I was last time. You've seen it. I haven't gotten any farther, and I'd like to make some more progress on that as we head into the summer months. So yeah, it's not set in stone. Obviously, I changed my mind quite a bit. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We'll see how it goes. I don't really have, it's sort of my alternative to starting a project every week, every day in May, like some people do. Or just, it's my alternative to going all out for May. Sort of trying something different and seeing how it goes. So I'll report back next month, see if I actually stuck to it. And that is actually all the cross-stitch things I have to share. I have some crochet and knitting to talk about, and then I'm going to do a couple shout-outs at the end, if you'd like to stick around for that. So we'll dive in. I have 1 crochet finish. It is I showed it last time, it's the Rena jumper by Woodward Designs. The ends are not woven in. If I had waited till I'd done that, I wouldn't be filming this weekend, so. And I don't have a good picture of me wearing it either. I plan to get better about posting finish yarn projects on Instagram and Ravelry and taking nice pictures of those, so hopefully within the next month you'll see a modeled picture of this on my Instagram or in Ravelry, but for right now you just get it held up. So not the best, but it looks super wide. It's kind of boxy, but I'm not that big, but yeah. So we have these ruffle details on the sleeves, the hem, the collar, and I love this muted sage color. And it's a drop sleeve, so yeah, it was a little tricky to add those on, but we figured it out. And now it's just hot enough that I can't wear it, so yeah, that'll be next year, adding to my wardrobe. I also finished the Shift Cowl by Andrea Mowry, and it's funny because Lauren, the New Hampshire stitcher, is also knitting this, and we're sort of at the same stage of production too. I think she's probably seamed hers and been responsible and done all that. Mine is on a blocking mat right now, but it's fun to see her version. She has some gorgeous colors, so go check those out. And yeah, I think she'll be filming soon, hopefully. Her and Cross Stitch Kate and I all seem to be on the same filming schedule last weekend or last couple days of the month I'll post videos. So yeah, they're some of my favorites. I love catching up with them. Okay, this isn't shout out section, but yeah, my shift cowl, I was gonna wait to seam that one, and I knew if I did, we wouldn't be getting a video this weekend again. So I'll just pop in a picture of that. I used Cascade 220 superwash for it in the color Wildflower, and then the teal and the white were just some sport weight yarn that I had in my stash that I don't know the maker of. They're just acrylic. So yeah, I have woven in the ends for that. I just have to seam the shorter sides together, and then it's sort of like a bandana cowl-y shape. So yeah, that should be done this weekend, hopefully. Yeah, seaming is not my favorite thing to do. But so I have more than one crochet whip going at a time, but for the moment I only have one knitting project going at a time. So because I finished the cowl, I get to start a new one, and I was gonna start a shirt, like just a sleeveless or short sleeve top, but I knit pretty slowly and I don't think I'd get that done by this summer. So I could either start a full-length sweater, because I really want to get into garments more with knitting, or I came across this pattern. It's all over social media right now. Ravelry, it's in their hot right now section, and that's the pressed flowers. There's a cardigan, a sweater, a shawl, and a cowl version. I'm doing the shawl, and this is by Amy Christoffers. And also I'm not intentionally trying to copy you, Lauren. I guess great minds. But she's also starting this soon, I believe. So yeah, I'm always up for a mini knit along. But I picked up the yarn today at my local yarn store for it. It's just a DK weight. You need about 500 yards or so of a main color and a contrasting color. So I picked up Morocco Vintage DK weight in this. It's very much like the color thread I'm using for the Beatrix Potter Quaker. But yeah, maybe it's my signature color. And then the contrasting is this off-white. So I'm gonna do this as the main color and then these as the flower petals. So yeah, I hope to cast that on tonight, hopefully. Yeah, so that will be my one knitting whip, and hopefully I can limit myself and stay on the one knitting whip at a time. Have a little bit of control in some aspect of my life. So yeah, that's everything I've been up to there. I'd like to wrap up with some shout outs. I know Paine and stuff of Just Keep Stitching have just started doing like a segment where they have an older Flosstube channel that they talk about, and then a new Flosstube channel that they recommend. And I think that's a great idea, because I mean, you always need your standbys, but I love finding new channels and supporting them as well. So two that come to mind that I've been subscribed to for forever is Mama Bear Stitchery. So Debbie, she stitches some amazing full coverage pieces. I think that's mostly her jam. She has filming behind her a full coverage bear piece that is gorgeous. It's phenomenal. So you get to see that in the background of all of her videos. She stitches a lot of animal full coverages too, which is my thing as well. And she also gets into a lot of dimensions or just kits in general. So I love seeing that. And she also has a really awesome Scottish accent. So highly recommend her. And then also another channel I've been subscribed to since pre-pandemic is Darren, the Dizzy Stitcher. He pretty much exclusively stitches full coverage too. He's in Australia, so you get to hear all this cool cockatiel, or I don't know, bird noises that I'm not used to. Like, I just get robins and geese flying over, so it's pretty wild to hear that. And he has some phenomenal full coverage projects. and every now and then he does other things. He does, I think he started Pandemic by Long Dog Samplers. I think he has a Mirabilia going too, but yeah, he has a really cool rotation. So he not only shares his whips, but also the projects that he plans to work on in the coming week, and he sticks to it, and he gets a lot done. So I always like catching up with him. And then a new channel, she's even newer than me, is Lynn from Those Missing Stitches. She's also a very accomplished full coverage stitcher. I'm not sure if that's exclusively what she stitches on. It's been a while since I watched her Whip Parade, which came out about 3 weeks ago. So I don't want to make any definitive statements there, but she is stitching some awesome projects. She has an amazing backdrop. It's very organized and very nicely styled. So that's always fun to, engaging to look at. And she has a really calming presence, and I think she has one other Flosstube video up right now. So there's Whip Parade, Flosstube #1, and I highly recommend checking Lynn at Those Missing Stitches out. So yeah, that's all of the content I have planned to talk about today. Sad that there's no thrifting. Yeah, next time maybe I'll have to force myself to go to Goodwill or something. I don't know. Yeah. I never know how to wrap these up very, very succinctly with good flow. I think, I'll be back hopefully at the end of May. Don't have anything too crazy coming up. Just plugging away in the lab. I'm a PhD microbiology student, so kind of coming towards the tail end of a couple different projects. So I'm in the revision step of writing one of them and then the other, it's sort of like the data analysis part. So yeah, that's always fun. And yeah, I actually have a meeting on Monday afternoon with both of my supervisors, so I need to get prepping for that. I think that's all I really have on the docket. My life isn't too exciting. I just go to lab, come home, hobby it up, and repeat. So I'll get off of here now. Thanks again for joining me, everyone, and I hope to see you again soon. Happy stitching. Bye.